Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Tuckerman and this is On the Book. So today I am talking about The 100 Season 4 Episode 3, and the exciting thing is that I'm actually recording this video the day after it came out instead of like a week after it because things. So if you don't know, I am an MFA candidate at Sierra Nevada College and I am getting my MFA in writing for children and young adults, as is my co-admin on the site, Magdalene Ann. So sometimes we're not always timely with our discussions and reactions because we have like 10 books a month to read and analyze rather than just enjoy. Plus, lots and lots of writing. Let's start this discussion. So we start the episode off and radiation sickness is already a thing. Luna's clan actually comes to Arcadia asking for help, begging for help, saying like, please help us, there's children, you have to help us. Abby comes up and she reveals, it's acute radiation sickness. So we think immediately that, the radiation is already here. It's already airborne, there's already a problem, and it's just moving closer, which it kind of already is, but that's not actually what's going on just yet. It's really important to remember that Luna lives really secluded out on the water, so she would be eating almost exclusively fish. Through that arc, we're told that the fish and the insects are dying, which lets us know that the radiation is approaching, at the very least, that it is already heavier than they thought that it was supposed to be. And then Raven explains to us that we have 2 months rather than 6 months that Allie said. So I think the 6 months would have been because nobody can actually feel pain while they're in the City of Light. But we're about to meet a new cult, not for a few discussion points. So the fact that the fish are dying and the insects are dying comes up again with John and Imori. They're like my favorite characters, so I get to fangirl a little, which forces John to go back to Arcadia in order to steal food, which comes up later in the episode, but I'm going to talk about it now because I can. Food is scarce out in the wild, and although he doesn't want to go back because, let's face it, every time anybody interacts with anybody from Sky Crew, they die. He knows that they need food, so he goes back to steal the food. While there, he overhears that they can't give up this medicine, they can't give up food, they're rationing, and they have 2 months. Now, he's one of the first people outside of an immediate circle to learn this. Of course, Jaha realizes it, and Echo was told by Rowan, but this is the first kind of like common, non-authoritative character to learn that they've got 2 months left to live, that the radiation is coming, and that it will be worse than the first time around. So John steals medicine to give to Luna's clan. Why is that important? Well, if you remember back a season, or even back to the first season, John's father was floated for stealing medicine to save him. So it's especially interesting in his character that he would then go to steal medicine to save others. Now, this medicine is all that they have left for radiation exposure. It's supposed to be given within 24 hours. They have no idea how much exposure Luna's clan has had to radiation, so Raven doesn't want to give it to them. Hence, John steals it and gives it to Abby. We're going to pause that discussion because that's a huge reveal at the end as to what comes out of that. So, moving on to my next topic. Octavia is now Skyrippa, death from above, which I can totally see because she's just like, murder is fun. Somebody steals the flame from Rowan, like right out from underneath of him, and he immediately suspects the keepers of the flame. So Octavia and Indra go through the city, they're hunting down whoever stole it, and they find out who it is, and it's Indra's daughter. So of course they have a huge like, you were supposed to do this. Oh, you don't understand me kind of moment. And then Octavia shows a little bit of who she was when she first came to the ground, where she is just trying to help people. It's a very warm side of her when Trishan crew comes through, led by Ilian, looking to destroy all technology, including the flame, which the keepers of the flame believe to be the spirits of the commander, which is technically true because they're all compiled onto the chip, but that's a whole lot of technology and they want to destroy it, and that's a discussion for another time. Around Gaia's neck is a model of the flame, so they take that, they stick it in the box, and then Alien destroys that, which I think is probably very therapeutic for him to destroy what made him destroy his life. And then, yes, Luca, you wanna come be on my booktube show? Luca's gonna be my co-pilot today, maybe for a few shots. In any case, very therapeutic for Ilian's character to destroy what destroyed him. So then we get back to Octavia, who is just fine with straight up murder, right? And she, bye Luca. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's your butt in my face. In any case, after the fake flame is destroyed, Octavia takes the remnants of it, puts it into the box that the flame was in, takes that to Rowan, says that the flame was destroyed, and brings the head of one of the... I'm talking. Octavia takes the crushed remnants of the flame, gives it to Rowan, says that it was destroyed, and delivers the head of somebody from Trishan crew. Just like, it was one of them. So after that, Rowan decides that they're going to have to be a lot more violent in order to keep him. And then there's Jaha. So one thing that this show likes to do is kind of like secret groups of people are all over the place. So now we have the cult, Second Dawn, who supposedly built a bunker, and maybe they'd be able to get everybody there. And I thought it was a little weird that they would introduce this particular kind of saving grace. So I was a little skeptic that this would be what's replacing the hydro generator, and it's not. They managed to get the bunker open, and everybody inside is dead because it wasn't sealed. But I do wonder if they'd be able to use, you know, all that Sky Crew technology to reinforce that bunker, because I think their main issue now is especially like size. The Ark is just not big enough to hold all of those people, and it certainly won't sustain them, as we keep hearing from Raven and Bellamy. One of the absolute hardest scene to watch outside of last season when Lincoln died was in this episode. Adria, one of the children who comes with Luna, is dying from radiation poisoning. And we watch her die in Luna's arms. It is like, it just wrenches your heart right out of your chest. It is, the actors did such a good job with that. But oh my God. Because quite frankly, there was really nothing they could have done. Abby did treat the little girl for radiation poisoning. It didn't work. She had been exposed for too long. And it was a message for the rest of the episode that the rest of Luna's clan was going to die along with her. It just... Before Clark left with Jaha and Bellamy to go check out the bunker, she told Raven if the bunker doesn't pan out, that she would make this list. And the list is of the 100 people who would be able to stay on the Ark once it's finished, essentially choosing who lives and who dies. So of course the bunker doesn't pan out, and Clark comes back and she's making a list. Bellamy is asleep on his bed. She looks over at him, and she adds his name to the list in the 99th spot. And then slot 100 is open, and ultimately Bellamy has to write her name. Leaving her own name off this list would be suicide. But can you really blame her for leaving her name off this list? After what she's been through, but also just the responsibility of having to say, I've deemed myself more important. And Bellamy tells her, if I'm on it, you're on it. There were a lot of feels this episode. But the final thing is the importance of Nightblood. At the end of the episode, Luna is reciting last rites to those who had died in Arcadia from her clan. And Clark comes out and sees her, And when Luna turns around, the radiation is already starting to dissipate. You don't see the lesions on her face anymore. She's not quite as pale. She's starting to look healthier. And Abby reveals that they didn't treat her. So now they're going to be looking into Nightblood, which we kind of got a little glimpse into last season when we saw that Becca actually injected herself with something and it turned her blood black. So now I think we're going to get a bit more of a definition as to what Nightbloods are, how they're made, whether it's genetic, like, well, of course it's genetic, because I doubt that the grounders are injecting themselves with things. I think we're going to become a lot more clear about how this radiation was survived for so long. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I will see everybody next week. Toodles!